going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the NBA Slate Starter Podcast. I'm Eric, joined with my buddy Ryan as we break down Thursday's one-game NBA DFS slate on DraftKings, FanDuel, and our sponsor, Yahoo. We have a 12-gamer, and then we have one game tomorrow. We have a 12-gamer on Friday, but yes, one game tomorrow. Let's talk about these 12 games that are in the process here before we break down this one game. This will be the shortest NBA Slate Starter Podcast in the history of our existence. At least I hope so, unless Ryan really wants to break down the ins and outs of showdown analysis between the Detroit Pistons and Orlando Magic. But something tells me he doesn't. I think he'd rather talk about Torrey Craig and Rudy Gay. What say you, Ryan? How's your night going?
I've had better nights. I just was not all about locking into Torrey Craig at $3,100. I get it. I still had a lot. I just was not above the 70% in high stakes and 40-something% in the big tournament. On FanDuel, I had a decent amount with him. The main over there worked out better, I thought, than locking up a forward spot where there were other guys. Yeah, Torrey Craig goes out and puts on a career-high performance. So I think a round of applause for those people who got to above the field of him. I'll just have to move on to tomorrow. It is just what it is. It's just unfortunate that it was on this type of slate. Look, I like Torrey Craig. I just don't like him. I had no idea even he'd get to that high of ownership. I just was shocked at the performance. Nonetheless, he put on top 10 performance of the night. And Torrey Craig's just not one of those guys. He went perfect from the field. But outlier performance is what went in tournaments. So unfortunately, I was on the wrong side of this outlier performance.
Yeah, I'm not going to victory lap it or anything. I just didn't like Rudy Gay as a play today. And so when that opened up, when we thought through it on the live before lock show, I said I was just going to jam him. And it worked out really well. And hopefully somebody out there is able to benefit from it. Tier 2, I think I'm looking at having a pretty decent night, but I'm not here to victory lap anything because you still need the other pieces. I'm not going to talk about the 20% Cam Thomas I had. That was a nice 0 fantasy points from him. Stuff like that. You still make mistakes. Things are still going to happen, but you try to do the best with the information you have in front of you. I didn't think Rudy Gay was going to start. He didn't. That ended up working out really, really nicely. It's going to be a difference maker for me in this evening. And, if it breaks the other way, if Rudy Gay ends up starting and you don't get Torrey Craig or something random like that, Ryan has a massive night. So things can kind of take shape. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander ended up being an awesome guy to fall into a lot of when he got ruled in, when a lot of people, including myself, did not think he was going to play. So now we just head on to this one gamer and, of course, the NCAA tournament. Before we get to the showdown here, smash that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Also, 5-star reviews over on Spotify, Apple. Those go a long way for both Ryan and myself, and they make us look cooler than we are. Actually, Ryan's very cool. Look at his outfit every single day. I'm such a Midwestern boy, it is what it is. But just living my LA life here, still rocking the t-shirts, just being a nerd. But here we go. Final 4 predictions before we get to the analysis here on this showdown slate, because again, this is going to fly. Ryan, do you have a bracket in front of you?
Do I have a bracket in front of me right now? Let me pull one up.
All right. Well, while you pull it up, I'm excited for this NCAA tournament. Many people know that I went to Iowa State. I grew up a Duke fan. That's why my Duke is named Duke. That makes sense. And then South Dakota State, the adopted team of everybody. That's going to be a very, very fun South Dakota State team to be watching here. Yeah, I don't really know what to think about it, but I'm going to just say I see really an opportunity for Connecticut. I think they're kind of the sneaky team to come out of the West. I think that they get out. So I'll take them as my 5 seed. That's going to be the longest, the deepest long shot that I take here. I'm going to go Kentucky out of the East. I feel like that's something that a lot of people are on, but I'm going to continue that trend as well. I've got Illinois coming out of the South. I know Arizona, Villanova. Arizona's looked really good. I don't know, that Seton Hall TCU matchup, but then Houston can be dangerous if it were to be them instead of Illinois. But I think Illinois takes care of business and finds a way in. Kofi is just an absolute monster, and the Big Ten was the best basketball conference in the nation this year. And of course, the one seed that I'm going to eat the chalk on. Well, no, I'm not. I just lied. I'm absolutely going to go contrarian here. I think, and just tell me what you think. I think Iowa is very live as a 5 seed as well. So going to my bracket of integrity. So I've got 2 5 seeds, 0 1 seeds. Look at me go, Ryan. How about your bracket? Who are your final four teams?
Yeah, those are obviously great picks. I mean, a lot of people tend in bracket building, people tend to get a little too cute at times, depending on your scoring system. Just always keep in mind the scoring system can definitely be something very interesting to look at. I think I really like Kentucky just to be in the championship game this
Love
year,
that call.
but it could definitely be something just I'm just writing John Calipari and the talent. Uh, it's nothing that I'm that excited to go with Kentucky to be in the championship game, but on the other side is where things get a lot very interesting. I think just looking up who can come out of there, I still got to ride with Gonzaga up top. I mean, Gonzaga, Kentucky in the Final Four. And then on the other side of things, I'm going to just go pretty chalky. Kansas and then 3C Tennessee takes down Arizona is how I'm looking at it. But don't get me wrong. I'd love Michigan to be in that final game. Houston's another dark horse just based off what I've been looking at, watched throughout the year. But these guys are there weren't many, I don't think, quote unquote, seeding mistakes this year. Everyone's pretty seeded appropriately. We'll see what the Duke Farewell Tour looks like. Is it the upset against Michigan State, the upset against Davidson, upset against Texas Tech, or do they upset Gonzaga? It's going to be very interesting to see. That's the spotlight, right? The NCAA probably wants Coach K in that championship Final Four game. It's the perfect storyline, but storylines are made in the tournament when upsets happen and tears are shed, and Coach K might be the guy shedding those tears.
I have no optimism for this Duke team, and not just because they've looked really bad here towards the end of the season. Just it's just a strange thing. It's the same feeling that I got watching Brandon Ingram in his 1 year at Duke, where I thought that they had the ability. They got to the Sweet 16, and then they got absolutely bulldozed by an Oregon team in Anaheim. I went to that game. It was hilarious. Or was it the Sweet 16 that they got bulldozed by Oregon? But either way, it's just like one guy that you try to base it around and just not a really strong contribution you're getting from a lot of other guys. ACC was down. I think looking at the strength of a conference can kind of clue you in for where the lines are telling you to go, for what you need to do. And I'm just not very optimistic. Plus, Michigan State always feels like a team you need to pick like 2 rounds further than you think they're going to actually go. Like that seems to always be the Michigan State way, as annoying as it is. You know probably better than anybody.
Yeah, the worst is the people who come out of the woodwork for that. But you know what? Michigan State, Tom Izzo's a great coach. I wonder if they have a big injury situation with, I believe, Walker is their guard there. I mean, I would love Michigan to lose to Davidson. Steph Curry and Draymond Green have a side bet over there in that matchup. And I hope Steph Curry gets that dub and gets that extra pocket money from Draymond Green. And imagine what those type of bets are between two NBA superstars. It's going to be a fun tournament as usual. I think it kicks off at 11 o'clock. I just have to be up all night building brackets, which is kind of annoying. Bracket building takes way too long.
Well, not only that, but you have to, because we don't build brackets, and we probably should, where we just like click on buttons at a certain extent once you get to a certain number. But there's points of leverage. And again, you talk about the scoring system. People don't think about stuff like this. I've won a couple bracket pools just amongst my friends where I just jammed 1 and 2 seeds. And I do it every single year in certain spots. And it just is because it's so top heavy to get the champion and the Final Four right. And I think this year, just there's not a whole lot of confidence I have in the Dukes and the 2 seeds. I think the 1 seed, I mean, I don't have a single 1 seed in my bracket of integrity. I never know how to analyze Gonzaga. Last year, I got completely burned by that. I had them exiting early, and they run all the way to the championship, and then they show their true colors finally on the heels of that Baylor beatdown. But is there any big upset? Just to kind of round out the bracket talk, because I know we're all talking about it. It's college basketball. This is the NBA Slate Starter podcast, but I really don't want to talk about a lot of Detroit, Orlando here. Do you have any first round or potential second round upsets?
I think San Diego State is a dark horse team to make the Final Four. They're a pretty talented team over there.
So defensive minded. They're incredible.
Yeah. And then I got to give a shout out to my own school. I mean, Michigan. They can beat anyone in the tournament and lose to anyone in the tournament. And those are the type of teams that if they get hot, you just want to be on the right side of that. Unfortunately, their starting point guard is going to be out for the first game. but taking on Colorado I think they might be favorites against Colorado State. All right, I'm not sure, but yeah, this Michigan team, they could go on a little revenge tour against Villanova. Villanova did clap them a few years ago in the Natty Championship game, and then they have a chance. I'm not saying they don't. Michigan's kind of had a really strong run in March of late, and they've always. All you need to win 2 games in a row, and you're in the Sweet 16, right? People forget how easy it is to get to Sweet 16. You just win 2 in a row, and you're in. And so we'll see how that goes for Michigan, but go blue.
Go blue. I think Wisconsin gets beat by Colgate.
They haven't lost in 15 games, right? Colgate.
What was that?
Colgate's won 15 in a row.
This Colgate team is good. I watched that Patriot League final, and they were a solid basketball team. Wisconsin, they have a guard that's dinged up, I know, but I've just never really. So as good as the Big Ten is, this Wisconsin team I do not trust at all. They're a 3 seed, and I think it's probably one of the most. I don't know. That seed really made no sense to me. I have no faith in Iowa State. We just got done watching Iowa State play Texas Tech there. So even in a second round matchup, I will not have, maybe I'll have a couple brackets where I still have Wisconsin going, but I very highly doubt that I'm going to have them getting past LSU in that second round. Iowa State, I don't really even know what to think. They played the worst game you could possibly watch against Texas Tech to close out their Big 12 tournament run. But I'm telling you, I think Colgate, not that they're Oral Roberts and this is 15 versus 2. I mean, this is a 3 seed versus a 14. So it's not quite of that magnitude like Makachevsky calling that one last year. But I truly do think Colgate is very live to win this game. I bet them. I think that they could be a sneaky team to make the Sweet 16. They are by far the deepest seed that I actually believe could get to a Sweet 16.
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me. And I think you're South Dakota Jackrabbits, right?
But everybody likes them because they're number 1 in 3-point shooting this season in the entire NCAA, number 1 in field goal percentage. They play 0 defense. They are just up in pace and they play to score, which is working better and better until you face a team that puts the clamps down. Providence, it's interesting. Providence had a lot of really good games. They're really hard to analyze for me, but I will definitely be watching that game bright and early. 8:40 a.m., I believe, my time. What time is it at? 9:40 a.m. my time. Whew. Going to be an early one Thursday morning. I'm going to be excited. A lot of coffee and basketball for me tomorrow.
Should I be heading down to the local sportsbook to watch these games?
Absolutely. I'm jealous. I would do nothing tomorrow. I would call in sick. I would find somebody else to do the live before lock show. But you know what? It is what it is. We get into it. While we kind of cover this, I want you guys to all put your Final Four predictions down there. If somebody gets a perfect Final Four in the comment section, I will find a way to get you $100 on Yahoo. I will do that personally. I will find a way to do it, whether by whatever means, whatever we need to have happen. Maybe I need to Venmo you, and then you just deposit $100, and we just do the honor code through whatever the hell. But we are getting you $100 if you get a perfect Final Four. Again, very hard to do. I'm not giving away free money here. If you want to hit the chalk 4 seeds, I'll just comment fast because I'll take the first comment. That's going to be the tiebreaker. So, I mean, I guess I don't want to penalize. I'll draw. If there's multiple perfect brackets or perfect Final Fours, I will draw for it. But if anybody gets it, $100 on Yahoo guaranteed from me, we will make that happen. Ryan, does that sound like a good idea or am I crazy?
No, that sounds like a
Hello.
That sounds like a fantastic idea.
Welcome back. All right. Well, let's get to it. If you guys are still listening, you guys are much appreciated. Just wanted to talk some tournament stuff, as I know a lot of you are going to be building brackets now in the morning, like Ryan and I, and then go Jackrabbits. But ready to get breaking down this. We're going to just go site by site, not position by position today, because it would make no sense. We'll talk DraftKings, their scoring, and some of the injury news we have surrounding this game right from the get-go. You ready to get going? My bracket frenzied friend.
That's right.
There we go. Cade Cunningham, questionable coming in once again here with an illness. I think he's probably going to play. That's just a hunch. Wendell Carter Jr. is questionable with a sprained ankle, but I am burying the lead. Jeremy Grant, out. Jalen Suggs, out. Chuma Okeke, questionable. Hamidou Diallo, out. I mean, we have the walking wounded in this game with two major pieces gone right from the get-go. I'm going to just say, if you don't get Cade Cunningham and Wendell Carter in this game, it is going to be impossible to not be leaving a ton of salary on the table. In fact, if both of them are out, the most you could possibly use in a lineup still leaves 2,400 on the table. I mean, right from the get-go on DraftKings. What do you think about this injury situation?
Yeah, it's obviously something to monitor tomorrow. Jeremy Grant already being rolled out does open up some things in the front court. It's a showdown slate, single game slate. However you want to look at it, you're just organically just forced to leave money on the table when making lineups like this. So I definitely think that's fine to do. And just looking at the injury situation, yeah, if the projected leading scorers are going to be out, it's going to be going to cause for a lot of frenzy in lineup building, and it'll be a fun lineup tankathon slate between these two teams that are tanking for sure. But this Piston team has been playing really well of late. I believe they're like 9-1 against the spread the last 10 games.
Really good.
Been playing amazing team basketball.
You know their record without Cade Cunningham, though, right?
Yeah, 1-14.
Yeah, you look. It's like you know stuff. Continue.
And then they've just been playing better basketball since Marvin Bagley's joined the team. Bagley has not been awful. He's been playing pretty well with this team. Him and Cade Cunningham have a very good two-man game. It's been impressive to watch. We'll see how long that continues, though.
Homer.
I mean, I thought Bagley was talented, but obviously when you go to Sacramento, things just don't pan out. But yeah, let's just looking at the salaries here: 10-8, 9-4, 8-4, 7-6, 7K. The top five guys in Cade, Wendell Carter, Cole Anthony, Marvin Bagley, Franz Wagner. Out of those guys, I mean, Cole Anthony and Wendell Carter Jr. and Cade all have. You can easily go play them at captain just because there are options down below. And when you have things like that, I think you should definitely take a look at trying to spend up at captain and jam in some other value. It's a one-game slate. I mean, the variance will always be through the roof, but you got to keep in mind on what's on the table and what we're dealing with, opportunity cost, and if you do spend your salary all the way up, and there's enough value to jam in those guys at captain, so it doesn't seem necessary to spend it pretty low here. I mean, the lowest, if you can want to go in terms of like building a lineup, you could play, I believe, maybe I'm okay playing Bagley because he has the upside to do so, or Sadiq Bey and Cade. On the Orlando side of things, I mean, Wendell Carter Jr., Cole Anthony, and maybe Bamba. But even then, I mean, can we go to a Franz Wagner captain tomorrow? He's just so steady. No upside, really. If Chuma Ikiki's out, maybe more minutes for a guy like, man, who's going to play more minutes if Chuma Ikiki's also out for this team? Is it going to be Mo Wagner? Probably Mo Wagner's going to play more minutes.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he becomes... There's no way in God's green earth I could possibly play Mo Wagner up at the captain spot, but he's going to be like a utility guy that I find it impossible to ignore if you have Wendell Carter out. Like, he would probably become, depending on the timing of that news, like I hope it comes closer to lock. But God, Mo Wagner, he's been playing minutes, and now, I mean, some of these blowout games that have gotten sideways, he's really gotten some decent run there alongside his brother. 22 minutes last time out. He is the better Final Four producer between him and his brother. I will say that.
Mo Wagner carried the team on his back against Sister Jean.
Staples Center, Florida State. That was an incredible game.
Yeah, he played really well in that tournament run. And I think he scored himself a first round pick or early second round pick.
Sure did. It's incredible.
Yeah, Wagner is good, and their third brother is in the works. He committed to Michigan as well, so we'll get the third Wagner, hopefully in the league. Hopefully, he plays at Michigan as well. But we shall see how that goes. It's a weird slate. Look, I mean, there's some news that we're waiting on. Cole Anthony looks great. It's a Pistons team, an Orlando team. They both are just awful at defense. They should just keep going up and down the court. If Wendell Carter's out, Mo Bamba's in captain play. I think Bamba might be kind of a sneaky captain play just because he'll be super low in tournament dart. I mean, the teams are going to be shorthanded. I cannot advocate for a guy like Corey Joseph in captain. I think Sadiq Bey is fine at captain. I think he's a pretty solid one, all things put together. Great utility options that will be low owned over here on DK. It's going to be the likes of Markelle Fultz, Killian Hayes, guys who we tend not to go to in main slates, but on one game slates, they're in play because of the minutes that they're going to be thrown at. So keep an eye on that situation.
Normally, I would say, oh, FanDuel, because I really do like the showdown, the ability that you have on both Yahoo, our sponsor, and DraftKings, where you kind of have the one guy to rule it all up in the top spot. But on DraftKings, I do like the one guy to rule them all. But FanDuel and Yahoo, with the way that they have set up Megastar, Superstar, Star, gets really, really intriguing on both these two sites. So we'll start with FanDuel like we always do here, and then finish out with our sponsor. We've got Cade Cunningham 14.5, Wendell Carter 14K. Let me just say, you get 12K per player, so they already probably weren't priced up enough. So if either one of them goes, going to be hard for me not to play most of them in the MVP spot. That will definitely be the chalky way to go if they're good to go. If you get both of them ruled out, you are guaranteed to leave at least $500 on the table no matter what you do, and it opens up just a litany of possibilities. I mean, it is crazy building over here on FanDuel. Let's talk strategy, and for both Yahoo and FanDuel here. Cade Cunningham and Wendell Carter get ruled out, Ryan. Who are you playing the most in MVP, Star, and Pro?
Whew.
No pressure.
If Wendell Carter and Cade Cunningham get ruled out,
I thought I'd go like speculation for as we keep going to kind of mix.
Yeah, it's going to be Marvin Bagley, Sadiq Bey, Cole Anthony.
I think that's the order for me too. Marvin Bagley's one for me.
Yeah, maybe. Probably Bagley. I mean, Bagley would be really intriguing to play. Kelly Olynyk would be in play just because there'd be like a ton of usage off the second unit for him. But I think Cole Anthony would be pretty outstanding with no Wendell Carter Jr. as well. Interesting situation that could happen tomorrow. But yeah, Marvin Bagley would be pretty intriguing. I think he's already intriguing as is with no Jeremy Grant. But yeah, Cade, Wendell, Cole Anthony right now, the way things stand. And then the next tier guys are Sadiq Bey, Marvin Bagley for me. Franz Wagner could sneak in there as a Detroit spot. Wagner has shown the upside of Gate. He can put up 40 plus. He's done it a few times this year. It's just been very rock solid. You just count on him just to get you mid-20s every single time out. That's just how he plays the game, it feels like.
I agree. It's going to be consistency for sure. Chuma Okeke, if he ends up playing, would be a guy at 9K that looks really, really good. We're not really looking for savings. Think of it this way. We just want to play the guys that are the most likely to get the raw points and looking for like a low-owned dart. We saw Rodney Magruder leave that game early. He's now questionable for this game as well. Should have put him into that grouping. He played 20 minutes, got hurt, and didn't return. Going here further, I don't think there's any real need to go down to the likes of, there's nothing 6K, 7,500. You've got the RJ Hampton, Corey Joseph kind of conundrum, but I find it hard to believe that I would play both. But do you have a preference between those two at the identical number, Corey Joseph and Hampton?
Do I have a preference? It's all news dependent. If there's no Cade, you're gonna like Corey Joseph. Corey Joseph might be forced to take 20 plus, no, not 20 plus shot attempts, 10 plus shot attempts for Corey Joseph.
Okay. We were bullish there.
So in RJ Hampton's minutes, the backcourt there is kind of like fully go outside of Jalen Suggs. So Hampton's going to be in like obviously he's going to start. We've seen him start the last couple of times out. He's okay. I do like Hampton, but I'm just going to be, if there's no Cade, it's going to be Koja.
All right. Heading to Yahoo, rounding out the shortest slate starter in the history of the universe, no doubt about it. To Yahoo, anything else you wanted to talk about DraftKings FanDuel before we go?
No, it's a one-game slate. Have fun with it. Enjoy the tournament games. That's all I have to say, honestly. There's not much else for a one-gamer.
Right. Well, I got to do this quick. We got Yahoo users. Get one free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum as we head over to Yahoo to discuss them. You deposit $10, you get all of the goodies we have behind the paywall here at Awesemo for 1 month. That is college basketball projections for tomorrow. You want to see those. You want to get those. getting access to those is a big deal. You can't get the Fantasy Cruncher add-on automatically. You could add that on later if you wanted to, but you get all the projections, and there is no better time to be playing college basketball DFS than right now. We have NHL, we have NBA, obviously, we have MMA, PGA, everything you could possibly want behind the paywall here. So stop guessing, start winning. Join us here at Awesemo, but do it through this Yahoo promotion. All right, my friend, we go to the top end on Yahoo. Our sponsor, Cade Cunningham at $31. Not expensive enough if you were to be playing for sure. Wendell Carter, same thing, $28. Pretty easy. The lineup kind of builds itself as you go down the line, but is there anything really stick out to you as a pricing deal where you really, if you do get Cade Cunningham and Wendell Carter in, that you would find is a value piece you can't miss on Yahoo? It's the right answer.
It's probably RJ Hampton as your value piece over here. Honestly, he's all the way at $10 here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's the value in the flex spot if you're looking for something down here. I mean, Markelle Fultz isn't crazy if you fall on a guy like him. But if there's no Cade, Killian Hayes looks outstanding at $10. Yes, outstanding on a one-game slate. Marvin Bagley looks pretty great as well. But spending up top, you can jam these guys in. Any guy you think is going to be the highest scoring player on the slate, either be Cade, Wendell, Cole, Sadiq Bey, you can get any of those guys in just because there's so much flexibility in salary. You're going to leave a lot of money on the table tomorrow on Yahoo. I mean, a lot. Like, you shouldn't need to spend. There are lineups where you could probably make less than $110. It looks gross, but yeah. And if there's no studs, it could be even lower than that.
Use projection systems. Use them. Love them. Hand building just seems weird, unless you're just going to automatically know how to build with $20 left over on Yahoo. But as you said, yeah, $110, totally in the realm of possibility. Guys, that was the Slate Starter podcast covering this lovely Detroit-Orlando game. Enjoy the tournament. Ryan, any final words for the people as we get out of here?
Yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. Go Blue. We'll catch you back tomorrow for a massive dozen-game slate again. Hopefully, Torrey Craig doesn't go for a career high. I'll tell you that.
He's Ryan. He's mad about Torrey Craig. I'm Eric. I'm not, but you know what? Duke's. I'm nervous about Duke, and that's just the way that it's going to stay. Go Cyclones, even though I don't have a whole lot of hope there. And South Dakota State, one-time dealer. We'll see you guys tomorrow.